Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. My name is Nick. I hope you are well. Now, I'm really into Formula 1. If you haven't watched the channel, you probably don't know, but on this channel we reviewed quite a lot of Formula 1 games back in the day, starting off on the ZX Spectrum, Checkered Flag, Pole Position, games you might remember there, Continental Circus, Formula 1, I think, by Team 17, and also on the Commodore Amiga as Jeff Cramer's Microprose Formula 1. And I did touch on the PlayStation 3 Codemasters Formula 1, I think 2010, so that's going back a little way. So a lot of Formula 1 sort of like games. And as I say, I'm really into Formula 1. The Formula 1 2018 season starts on the 23rd to 25th of March in good old Melbourne, and I'm quite looking forward to the start of that season. My favoured team is McLaren, and they've been at the back of the grid for quite some time, and it's been really paining me to see them go round getting grid penalties and their car exploding, well, the engine breaking and all sorts of things. It's been going on for years since McLaren teamed up with Honda to try and relive the success of the 80s and early 90s, and it never actually happened. But now McLaren have ditched the Honda engines. They're now on Renault engines, the same as the Red Bull team. So I'm quite excited for the future. They've got Fernando Alonso again, double world champion. Although his time is going to be split a little bit doing the World Endurance Championship. So I don't know what his thinking is, but still a very good driver. And also Stoffel Van Dorn as his co-driver. So, you know, it's been bad the last few seasons. Hopefully, fingers crossed, McLaren will get good in 2018. But this video isn't about the success of McLaren and the success of the 2018 Formula 1 season. No, it's about the use of grid girls. Nick, what are grid girls? Well, grid girls, not grid grills. Grid girls are essentially, well, it's no other way of putting it really, lots of women or girls on the Formula 1 scene doing lots of jobs and sponsorship, standing on the grid with the number of the grid and doing various other bits, and it's all about the glamour of the sport. Now, Formula 1 was bought by Liberty Media in 2016 for a price of $4.4 billion US. I would have made a bid, but I don't think I could have competed on there. I don't think it was offered on eBay. I'm getting all my words mixed up again. eBay, but that's just the way it goes. Now, they've brought in lots of changes, Liberty Media, starting from this season to try and make the sport more modern, more up to date, more PC, and worldwide accepted. And one of the things that maybe I'm old school, I don't quite agree with, they've banned the use of grid girls. So, you know. Now, Formula 1, as a thing, it's always been over the top. The fastest drivers in the world, the fastest sport in the world. It's overindulgence. You get the races like Monaco. You've got to promote the glamour. Now, taking the grid girls away, it's still going to have a little bit, but it's going to get slightly less boring. I mean, I think this sport should be like a Rio Carnival in Brazil, where you all give it 100% superpower. This is Formula 1. This is our brand. It's fantastic. It's out there. It's super. Now, imagine James Bond, the secret agent, without any of his gadgets and any of the women in it. Suddenly, it's not quite as good. It might be more PC, but at the same time, it's more boring. Now, I think Liberty Media and people that criticise grid girls have missed the point of it, really. It's not real life. We're sort of like in a play, we're like in a film, and we're selling the thing. We're not saying women are sex objects or anything like that. There isn't Miss World and they're parading in bikinis, which I'm against. This is about the sport as a whole, and it gives models jobs, opportunities they wouldn't have had, and also sponsorship is more likely to get into the sport because they see an area for their brand. Now, you might remember back in the day, Team Jordan, they had Katie Price that came in as a model, and she actually adopted the name of Jordan, the team's name, and her career went on to bigger and better things. Let's not mention where she is now. So I'm pretty much old school, bring sponsorship in, but you know, some people are saying it's demeaning to women. I don't think it is. I mean, rather than ban them completely, I would have liked to have seen. I've got nothing against being grid boys in or grid men in, and just keeping it all stable. Really, I don't think the decision was made by the women themselves. I think it's just the world's pressure as a whole and what's actually expected there. Now, what do you think about this? Are you with me, or do you think I'm terribly out of date, I'm a dinosaur, and grid girls should definitely and actually go? I just think it just adds an extra layer on the sport to make it glamorous. As I say, if you're aware of the Rio Carnival, take out all the women with their amazing headdresses on, giving it everything, and you might as well give up, really. Now, this has a mixed response from the drivers up and down the paddock and in different teams, and also they have to be mindful what they actually say, because it could be misinterpreted and turned against them. So some of them might have given a levied response. Daniel Ricciardo said he actually wanted to keep the grid girls there, but a lot of people would just go with popular, to save themselves getting a hit on Twitter and media and bad publicity. They just go with it, saying yes, grid girls have got no place in the modern day world. But you know, you have to be very careful what you say. As I glance down at my notes now, this is why I've got it noted down here, because Niki Lauda, 3 times world champion and chairman at Mercedes Formula 1 team, he was probably the most outspoken about this and didn't want the grid girls to go. This is what he said. I think it's paraphrasing, but anyway, he said, "This decision is against women. Men have made the decision over the head of women. This is not any No, this doesn't give any favour to F1. This is Niki Lauda's handwriting, I'm sure, and especially not to women. How stupid can they be? Are they nuts? I hope there is a way to reverse the decision." Well, to be honest with you, I don't think there is a way to reverse the decision. Grid girls in Formula 1 has been tradition, and it just flows in. With a gap of no grid girls, and to go into grid girls later on, that's going to take a lot to actually do. So they've mucked up. Now, Formula 1 is in particular under greater and greater competition from other sports, because in previous years the overtaking has been less, and people have been saying it's getting boring, the same teams winning. There's been Formula E that's been catching up on it. People have been looking at other sports like IndyCar, where different drivers seem to win every race meeting. There's endurance races, Le Mans, people drifting away from Formula 1. So having said that, why take something away that was one of Formula 1's a component, should we say? It's a cog in a big machine. Why take that completely away and make it less of what it was? Now, don't get me wrong, grid girls isn't the be all and end all of Formula 1, but it was a nice component to have. The glitz, the glamour, excellent. What more can I say about this? Yeah, it's political correctness gone mad in an ever PC world where you don't actually want to offend anyone. In the UK now, if you put up a Union Jack flag, or a Union flag as its real name, it could offend some people living in the same country, and you might have to take it down. People are offended by absolutely everything nowadays. Now, is it just happened to Formula 1? No, by jingo, it isn't. It's also happened in the darts. I'm a bit two-faced here because I'm for it going from the darts. But anyway, the PDC darts will no longer use walk-on girls after pressure from broadcasters. Well, if you've seen, I don't think it compares really to Formula 1. In the darts, it is more like seen as bimbo models. Sorry about that. They walk on in very sexy dresses and don't really do that much. It's not a career, it's not a step in your career or anything like that. It's not like you're going to a different part of the world and getting involved in something massive. It's just two blokes throwing darts. Sorry if I'm simplifying it, so that's gone from there. I don't think it's going to take anything away from the sport whatsoever. Boxing is another one, where after each round the girls go around hanging up the number, ding ding, round 4, and they walk around like that. Boxing are keeping theirs because they see it as the glamour and the glitz and the glamour. They're keeping that going forward. I think Formula 1 should have done that as well. I don't think it's ever going to go from the boxing, to be honest with you. So I've left you a bit there. Go McLaren actually win a race in 2018. We'll find out at the end of March. Do you think it's the right move for grid girls to go from Formula 1? Or do you think it's just political correctness gone mad? It wasn't doing anyone any harm. It wasn't demeaning to women or anyone like that. What do you think? I mean, there is things I've been reading about women that have been models on the grid. They got experience of the teams and broadcasting and things like that, and that's led on to other jobs elsewhere. I think he's a pretty thick person to watch these races and think, yeah, all those women in China. There was a load of women. I mean, they're never in skimpy costumes like they were in the 70s. I think there was a China race. There was all a big row of geisha girls, and you know, it represented the country, the national dress. It gave the race its own uniqueness. Am I missing a big point? Am I being sexist? I don't think so. As I say, I am pretty old school in my thinking. I'm a man with tradition, and I think it should stay. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see your thoughts there. If you don't care about it at all, then by all means watch some retro videos about Formula 1 instead by Jiminy Jones. I certainly need the views and the comments. So thanks for watching this as always. Until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. See, I've got no grid girls holding up stuff here. See, so I've always been PC. Yeah. Until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.